Today let's see paracetamol overdosing OET reading question part C text 1. Okay. First question I have underlined, what point is made? What point is made is of like a summarizing question, that is just. So here they are asking like what point is made about the death of a female patient called Mary. So going for the first paragraph, try to understand the paragraph completely. In a well documented case, in November 2004, a female patient called Mary was admitted to a hospital in Seattle, USA to receive treatment for brain aneurysm. Okay, what followed was a tragedy. So they are telling it's a tragedy made worse by the fact that it didn't have occurred at all. Okay, the patient was mistakenly injected with a antiseptic chlorhexidine. It happened, the hospital says, because of confusion over the 3 identical stainless steel bowls in the procedure room containing clear liquids, chlorhexidine, contrast dye, and saline solution. Doctors tried amputating one of the Mary's legs to save her life, but the damage to her organs was too great. She died. Okay. Now, if you see the option, it says like it was entirely preventable. Yes, by the wording, didn't have occurred at all, right? And nobody was willing to accept the blame, which is wrong. How it says that it happened, the hospital says, so they agree. So this is wrong. Surgeon should have tried harder to save her life. Actually, they did. Doctors tried amputating one of the, so they tried their best. Okay. So this is wrong. It is a type of incident which is becoming increasingly common. This is not given, so my option will be A, with the statement needn't have occurred at all. Okay, by this. Okay, now second question, lexical. What is meant by the phrase effort substitution in the second paragraph? So I need to concentrate on effort substitution. Let me go to the paragraph. Effort substitution is here. I will read one line above and one line below. Okay. Financial incentives are widely used, but recent evidence suggests that they have little effect. Okay, they are widely using, and recent evidence states that it has little effect. Why? There is a danger that they tend to encourage effort substitution. So something they are telling like it's danger. You have a signaling word in other words. So the statement is being repeated with other words. People concentrate on the areas that are being incentivized but neglect other areas. So they are telling like only few areas they are concentrating, and where they are concentrating is where they are getting incentivized, and but neglect other areas. They are neglecting few other areas. So where I need to check my options. Monetary resources are diverted unnecessarily. No. Time and energy is wasted. Not mentioned. Stop focus their attention on a limited number of issues. Yes. People have to take on task which they are unfamiliar with. Not given. Unfamiliar word not given. So here focus their attention on limited number of issues. Here they have mentioned like people concentrate. So this is the focus word they are talking about. So only in few areas they neglect the other. So this is given. So I'll go for this option. Now, ninth question. By quoting Dixon Woods in the second paragraph, the writer shows that the professor. So by quoting is inference question. So I have to infer the meaning. So if you see, there are functional words like understands, doubts, believes, feels. I need to concentrate more on this part. So let me go for the second paragraph. We have already read 3 lines. I need to read more like this and similar incidents or what inspired Dixon Woods. So this and similar incidences Miss Mary's incident. Okay, to set out on a mission, so aiming for something to improve patient safety. Okay, it is, she admits, going to be a challenge. So to improvise patient safety is going to be a challenge. Many different policies and approaches have been tried to date, but few with widespread success. So there are only few that got success, and often with unintended consequences. So often with unintended consequences means unexpected consequences. It's not, this I already read, so I know the meaning of it. It's not even necessarily conscious neglect. So what they mean is whatever they have in trying to concentrate and neglecting other areas, it's not like conscious neglect. People have only a limited time, amount of time, so it is inevitable they focus on areas. So it's not like they want to neglect, but it is their unavoidable situation. They can focus on areas that are measured and rewarded. So now let's see the option. Understands why healthcare employees have to make certain choices. Yes, I'll put on hold. Doubts whether reward schemes are likely to put patient at risk. This is not mentioned. Believe staff should be paid a bonus for achieving goals. No, he said it's like many approaches have been tried, and few are success and few has consequences as well, and he never suggests that it, staff should pay a bonus. So this is also not mentioned. Feels the people in question have made poor choices. No, this is wrong, because they said like inevitable. They didn't make like conscious neglect. It is inevitable. They focus on areas where they are measured and rewarded. Of course, they focus on few areas where they are getting incentivized. This is what he said, right? So it's a choice of people whether to get it or no. So I can go for A, understand why healthcare employees have to make certain choices. Okay, based upon these three lines, and it is mentioned here the word is inevitable. Okay, now if you see the 10th question, what point is made about checklist in the third paragraph? Again, like a gist. So what point is made about checklist? So I need to read the third paragraph to understand, and then I should get. So if you go for third paragraph, in 2013, Dixon Woods and colleagues published a study evaluating the use of surgical checklist introduced in the hospital to reduce complication and death during surgery. So this was introduced to reduce complication. Her research found that checklist may have little impact. So it created only little impact. So they said may also. And in some situation might even make things worse. Okay, even make things worse. The checklist sometimes introduce new risk. Nurses would use the checklist as box ticking exercises. They would tick the box to say patient had had their antibiotics when there were no antibiotics in the hospital. For example, they also reinforced the hierarchies. Nurse had to try to get surgeons to do certain tasks, but the surgeons used the situation as an opportunity to display their power and refuse. So there is a chance for doctors also to use this opportunity. So mainly he used the surgical checklist as evaluating criteria in order to reduce complication. But what happening is they are using as a exercising pattern. Even though if it is not available, they are doing it like it is available. And some of the surgeons, since it should be through them, they are taking this opportunity to show their power. So it's like actually not working. That's what they mean. So if you see the four options, hospital staff sometimes forget to complete them. No, they are doing, but doing as exercise. Nurses and surgeons are both reluctant to deal with them. No, they are doing. So reluctant word is wrong. They are an additional burden. They never mention like burden. The information recorded on them does not always reflect reality. Yes, they do it as a exercise. Sometimes they give wrong information as well. So this is my answer. Now next question is, what problem is mentioned in the fourth paragraph? Okay, so what problem is mentioned in the fourth paragraph? Direct, like what is the problem, we have to check. Okay, this is the fourth paragraph. Dixon Woods and her team spent time in hospitals to try to understand which system are in place and how they are used. So they are basically trying to understand the systems and how it is being used. Not only does he find differences in approaches between the hospitals, so there is a difference between the hospital, but also between the units and even the shift. Okay, standardization and harmonization are two of the most urgent issues. So this is the problem. Standardization, so it varies with hospital units and shift. So they need standard procedure and harmonization, like same kind of approach to be followed. Imagine if you have to learn in each new system wherever you go, or even whenever a senior doctor is on ward. So whenever a senior doctor means even with the doctors it gets changes. This introduces a massive risk. Okay, so problem they have mentioned here, most urgent issues and massive risk. So they want a common or consistent procedure to follow. Okay, now if you see the what problem they have mentioned, failure to act promptly, they are acting. So failure to act is wrong. Outdated procedures, they never mention outdated. Poor communication, no, they never mention like there is poor communication. They mention between the hospital, between the wards, even between the departments, between the doctors, the procedure changes. So it is only about the lack of consistency. There is no standardization. Okay, so it goes with D. Now you see the 12th question. What point about patient safety is the writer making about quoting Dixon Woods comparison with climate change? So it should be like inference question, right? So about the patient safety, what he is telling, Dixon Woods compares the issue of patient safety to that of climate change in the sense that is a problem of many hands. It's telling it is a problem of many hands. Okay, it's in the code, so I'm just marking it, with many actors each making a contribution towards the outcome. Okay, so with many actors, each means individually. Okay, there is a difficulty in identifying where the responsibility of solving the problem lies. So they mentioned there is a difficulty, okay, in identifying where the responsibility. So already they mentioned like each making a contribution. Now there is a difficulty in identifying where the responsibilities means who has the responsibility for solving the problem. Many patient safety issues arise at the level of a system as a whole. Okay, when there is a safety issue, it is like complete system being blamed. But policies treat patient safety is an issue of each individual organization. So two places they mentioned about the individual responsibility, and here they said the problem is mainly where the responsibility lies. Okay, so if you see here, the problem will worsen if it isn't dealt with soon. No, soon is not given. It isn't clear who ought to be tackling the situation. Yes, it's not clear actually, because individual is being questioned, right? It is hard to know what the best course of action is. Best course of action not given. They said like each has contribution. Many people refuse to acknowledge there is a problem. No, they already said it is problem of many hands, and when the problem arises, the system as a whole, it will be blamed. So this is wrong. Acknowledge, the word is wrong. So I will be going with B, because it is said like there is a problem where identifying where the responsibility of the for solving the problem lies. With this line I will go for option B. Now 13th question, what writer quotes Dixon Wood's reference to intensive care bed in order to. Again, this is inference question. So I have to look for intensive care beds to find out what they have mentioned. Okay, to understand the paragraph better, now where is this more apparent than the issue of alarm fatigue according to Dixon Woods? Okay, each bed and okay from here, each bed in an intensive care unit typically generates 160 alarms per day. So each bed in an intensive care, it creates 160 alarms per day, caused by machinery that is not integrated. So it is not integrated. You have to assemble all the kit around an intensive care bed manually. So it is not integrated and should be done manually. It doesn't come built as one like an aircraft cockpit. Okay, so again they are telling like it is not like built together. This is not something a hospital can solve alone. So this is where the solution cannot be given by the hospital alone. It needs to be solved at the sector level. Okay, so if you see the option, present an alternative viewpoint, there is no alternative viewpoint. It is viewpoint of Dixon Wood. There is no comparison here. Illustrate a fundamental obstacle. Yes, there is fundamental obstacle that he is telling it cannot be solved by themselves, and it is a integration issue. They stated this issue. Show the drawbacks of seemingly simple solution. It is not simple solution because it is around 160 alarms per day created by each bed. They never mention like it is simple solution. Give a detailed example how to deal with an issue. They didn't provide any example to show how the solution can be, right? So they are stating only the issue. What is the issue? It is basically integration issue, and it should be done manually. That is what they have said. So I'll go with option B. Now next question is, what difference between healthcare and engineering is mentioned? Difference between, so I have to check what is the difference between healthcare and engineering. Okay, where it is meant. Okay, fundamentally my work, Dixon Woods has turned to Professor Clarkson in Cambridge Engineering Design Center. So he is referring to Cambridge Engineering Design Center. Fundamentally my work is about asking how we can make it better and what could possibly go wrong. Okay, they are probing and checking what can be done. Okay, how we can make it better. Now they are telling like we need to look through the eyes of, okay, this line is important. We here, the engineering, right, need to look through the eyes of healthcare providers. Through the eyes means have the vision to see the challenges. So to understand the challenges where tools and techniques we use in engineering may be of value. So what they are trying to do is to understand the challenges what healthcare providers face, to see, to analyze and understand where the engineering tools and techniques can be used, may be helpful. That's what they are telling. There is a difficulty, so he is trying to give what is the difficulty. There's no formal language of design in healthcare. So he's telling like there is no formal language or the design. Okay, do we understand what the need is? So proper objective is clear or no? Do we understand what the requirements are? So requirements is important. So requirements are important. Can we think of a range of concepts we might use and then design a solution? So understand what is a need, gather the requirements and design a solution. Test it. So when you design a solution, test it before use. We seldom see this in the healthcare, so this is a problem. So they are telling like it is not seen in healthcare, and that's partly driven by culture and lack of training. So this is because of driven by culture and lack of training, as well as they mentioned lack of time. So what Dixon Wood agrees that healthcare can learn from engineers, there has to be a way of getting our two sides talking, she says. Only then we will be able to prevent tragedies like death of Mary. So basically the paragraph is trying to compare how the incident patient safety can be improved. Okay, and he's telling like the engineering how they are approaching the problems. They understand the solution and they check like how the techniques can be used. So analyze the need requirements and then design and test and then implement, so that the tragedies can be prevented. So this is what they are talking about. So difference between healthcare and engineering is the type of systems they use. They never mention the way they exploit technology. Exploit word is not given. Nature of the difficulties they face. The difficulties they mention is about the healthcare, and how the engineering tools and techniques can be used. They face here it is about both. So this is not appropriate. The approach they take to deal with challenges. Yes, this is from the line what I have marked here, to see the challenges and understand from this, as well as we seldom see this in healthcare. And also here they have mentioned like healthcare can learn much from engineers. So the way how they deal with challenges to be learned. So D is my answer. Hope this is helpful. Thank you.